Yes. hmm while the videos are loading up, I thought we'd go back through a little bit of information. Yes. The government declaring war on the QTAM plaintiffs who lack inside information. hmm up to 30% of the recovery. Now, it's kind of interesting that some people thought that they could use the government as a way to fish for fraud. Mhm. Uh, because these lawsuits can undermine the government's interest and not provide it with any benefit, the government has recently moved to dismiss two such pending actions. One of the grounds for dismissal the government has invoked is U.S. Code 3730B2, which mandates that a relator provide the United States with information in his or her possession that supports the claim. Yeah. Now, I've said I'm a relator. Yes. I said that before I went to court on Wednesday. Yes. Now, let's say, I'm just reading through this, right? The Attorney General of the United States has a responsibility to diligently investigate alleged violations of the statute. What is the Attorney General of the United States doing? Now, enough with over 2,000 QTAM cases since the act was filed in 1986. About 900 are now under investigation. What I found was really interesting was this concept of fraud. In the Oosterhout case, the United States similarly described subsection B2 as serving one of the primary filters that Congress installed to weed out improper relators. Yeah. To ensure that the QTAM provisions do not operate as a lottery with the relator hitting the jackpot. Yeah. If the government investigates what happens and happens to discover fraud. Now, could you get me the lottery? Yeah. Every lottery terminal in every convenience store, every department store, and all the employees of every state lottery and national lottery. Yeah. Just wanted to know how much is in the general fund. Now, these allegations of fraud where the sheriff says that I'm mentally ill. Yes. Let's say you're using forgeries. Okay. hmm Let's say the respondent is restrained from interfering, and I, as the respondent, inform law enforcement that my sons are 2 grades behind where they should be at. Yes. And my wife has been taking them to religious activities. Yes. Where they've really been retarded in their development as boys. Yeah. Now, obviously, I can't interfere. Right. I can't say, well, she didn't sign this. She feels no compulsion to have to. Well, I think I have the evidence for fraud. Let's say you're a sheriff's department. You have badges, you have guns, and you have vehicles. Yes. But you refuse to enforce the laws. It would be fraudulent to call yourself sheriffs. Yes. Let's say I sued the Department of Justice right now. It's not a lottery. I've documented 30,000 fucking deals right now. You call yourself sheriffs, but you're a fraud. You call yourself a police department, but you're a fraud. Pooch. You call yourself a judiciary, and you're a fraud. Now, these QTAM, I say it's a false claim on the part of those employed in the judiciary, in law enforcement, yes, to call themselves what they do not do. Now, sufficient to provide a basis for their allegation of fraud. Now, with the realtor hitting the jackpot, ouch, if the government investigates and happens to discover fraud, let me show you some fraud right now.